Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very, very special guest, left-handed pitcher in the Dodgers organization who absolutely ended last season on fire. He started it on fire. He was on fire in the middle of it. He ended it on fire. Great season last year, Evan Shaw.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
Okay, man. So I got to say, your KU boys, man, they were fantastic. They just beat Oklahoma State, my OSU Cowboys, to a pulp last year. Great season for them. They kind of whimpered out there in the regionals, and I was disappointed in that. But I got to say, I know you're very proud about being really one of the instrumental pieces in 2024 that helped turn that KU program around. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege to be able to be part of that squad. It was really cool to just see the way Coach Fitz was building the program, and just to have the season that we did to just push, the KU baseball program forward, and just taking one step further into making it a program that people are, going to actually look at and be like, oh, we got to watch out for these guys, and just seeing how they even went a step further with it this last year has just been really fun to watch, and just it's a blessing to be a part of.
What's the highest velo you hit this year?
This year was 93, 94,
90,
something
93,
like that.
94, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get into your mix here in a second, but ERA of 2.22, whip of 106. So just kind of talk about this past season, the success you had, and your overall thoughts of it.
I think overall it was a great year. I was really happy with it. The first few weeks of the season or so, I was kind of struggling a bit. I think just from going into spring training and stuff, made a little bit of mechanical changes, and I think that just kind of I thought it was something that was going to be good for me in the long run, but then I think I just wasn't able to have the same command with my stuff that I usually did, and so just getting back to where I was beforehand, and finding a place to just settle in and kind of get comfortable was good for me, and was able to just kind of clear my mind the whole rest of the season, and just focus on executing and going out and getting outs and doing what needed to be done for the team.
92-93, 49 strikeouts and 52.2 innings. That would be in the crafty lefty, which you're a big lefty, but the crafty lefty category, is that a term that you embrace? And if so, what does that mean to you? How do you define that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, I embrace it. It's kind of fun to be in that category. I think, in that crafty lefty category, it's you got good stuff, you got good command, and you're able to, you might not overpower most of the hitters you face, but you'll surprise some guys with your fastball, just because of the rest of the arsenal you have. And so I think that's kind of what the crafty lefty category is that, you got a whole lot of stuff in your arsenal, but, you also got to be ready for the fastball and things like that. And so it's just something that I love to be.
So do you use your off speed to set up your fastball to make it play up more, or do you use your fastball to set up your off speed?
I think it kind of depends on the hitter on the day. Do a little bit of both, and just kind of see, what the hitter's giving me, and also talk with my coaches in between innings or right before I'm about to go in the game when I'm warming up in the bullpen, or what I should expect from a hitter and stuff like that. Kind of determines whether I'm going to use the off speed to set up the fastball or vice versa.
Is it more controlling counts and then trying not to get ambushed by using movement, or is it more just trying to be more unpredictable for hitters? Which way do you go mostly to try to gain success?
I would say controlling the count. I think the biggest thing is, getting that first pitch strike is a game changer. Some people might not think it makes that big of a difference, but it really does. Just getting first pitch strike, and then we talk about winning the 2 out of 3 as well, getting to 2 strikes before anything else. And so I think getting ahead in the count and getting guys into a position where they're not comfortable is something that's key to having this success.
Do you have a go-to put away pitch or sequence?
Yeah, put away pitch would be my slider.
Yeah.
That's been my go-to for ever since I can remember, ever since I was a kid and I learned the pitch.
The fastball up, do you use it in the zone, or is it usually a show pitch out of the zone up?
Uh, I'd say more so in the zone, just to kind of set it
Good.
up. But then, yeah, every so often too, just get it up, change the eye level, and make them look for something else and catch them off guard.
For all of those young pitchers out there that don't throw 100 miles an hour, like you, at a professional level where you had a ton of success, how did you use your fastball without it getting ambushed? Can you explain that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when you don't have the velo like some guys do, it's not going to be overpowering, and guys will maybe be able to time it up better, and they're going to look for off speed more with you and stuff like that. So you got to be able to command it in any way, in anywhere you want it to be. You got to be able to get in on the guy's hands. You got to be able to go away. You got to look at their tendencies, look at their weaknesses, and you just got to be able to really execute and know what you're gonna get with your command and everything like that. And I mean, I feel like that's the key thing for me, is just being able to basically put my fastball where I want it, whenever I want it, and that just sets up everything else.
Do you have starting points where you say, hey, I'm going to start my fastball or my off speed at a starting location and let the movement go to its final destination, or do you have actual spots that you're trying to targeting as an ending point?
Yeah, I'm looking at a target of where I want it to be, and then I have a good feel of how my pitches are going to move out of my hand.
Yes.
And so I know I kind of focus in on where I want it to land,
Okay.
and then with my fastball and stuff, like I know it's going to have a lot of run, and if I'm throwing my slider, I know it's basically going to be the same thing, just opposite ways. And so I just want to tunnel those off of each other and make it look like it's going to be the same thing, and then put it in the spots where I know the hitters aren't going to be able to hit it.
Yeah, one more nerdy question here. So with your two-seam fastball, your sinker, whatever terminology you use, do you throw it more as a ball to strike, like you start it off the plate and then work it back over the plate as a strike, or do you just say, hey, here it is, it's on the plate the entire time?
Yeah, I'd say for lefties, I like to get it more, start it off the plate and have it run back in and catch the outer part of the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And then righties, I like to, either start at middle or in on their hands and have it come back to where it's outer half, and, they think it's going to be middle of the zone or in on their hands. And then it has that tail at the end and they're reaching out, and I get a rollover ground out or just a swing and miss.
Yeah. So for us casuals that see that back foot slider from a lefty, which is absolutely a devastating pitch, you can't hit it. It gets underneath your barrel. If you swing at it, you're out. So my casual observation would be, well, then don't freaking swing at it, right? I mean, just as soon as you see spin, just lay off it. Why can't, I mean, if I say that from my casual couch, right, why do professional hitters continue to swing at that even though they know they can't hit it?
Yeah, it's just the tunneling and the way the pitches look out of the hand, being able to repeat your delivery as a pitcher and have the same release point. And, if you're able to have that same release point, your fastball is going to come out looking the same as the slider. Yeah. And it's a lot harder to pick up on the spin than people might think it is. So if you started off in the same spot and it's looking like a fastball out of the hand, and then all of a sudden it's just diving down, that's what gets the hitters a tough time.
Okay, so incredible season that you had. You went scoreless in every outing in July. That was absolutely awesome. You gave up one run. Then you finished the season again with 7 scoreless outings. So 16 out of 17 of your last outings were scoreless. Talk about that incredible streak and the momentum you brought into the offseason.
Yeah, that was just a lot of fun to finish out the year that way. I think at that point in the season, I really found my groove, and I just, was going out there. And I think personally, I play best when my mind is just clear on the mound, and I'm just out there throwing and having fun. And that was really something that I was trying to, get to mentally throughout the season. Just like realize that, I'm playing baseball. This is what I've been wanting to do for, ever since I can remember, and just going out there and having fun with it, enjoying it, and trusting my stuff, trusting my coaches, trusting my teammates behind me, knowing that they got my back in the field, and trusting the game plans that we put in place, and just knowing that I can go out there and get the job done whenever they need me to.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's back up. Take us through your mix. We talked about your fastball, how you use that, the backdoor slider. Take us through your entire mix.
Yeah, so I got 4-seam, 2-seam / sinker. I don't really have a specific. It's 2-seam sinker, whatever you want to call it. And then my slider, circle change, and then just added in a cutter this year. That was something I worked on in spring training.
Yeah. So how do you differentiate your 4-seam, 2-seam? Why have both?
I think the 2-seam is, it's not as I don't get as much vertical movement on it, so it's a little more depthy, and it's a little bit better to get, especially right-handers, just for rollovers, especially when I have guys on base and I'm trying to get out of a jam for the team, and need to get a ground ball maybe for a double play or something like that. And then the 4-seam I can use up in the zone, since it just it has a little bit more of that vertical movement, so it'll just that. Even if it's not much, just that little bit of difference between those two kind of makes a big difference to the hitters.
Yeah, what's the favorite club in the bag? I mean, everybody's got that one club where you go, hey, no matter how bad my round is, no matter how bad I'm playing, I've got this one club that I'm never going to miss it. What's that for you?
I'd say that's my slider for me. Yeah. I think it's just because it's a pitch that I've thrown since I don't know, maybe 10 years old. I don't know, something like that. My brother showed me the grip when I was a kid and started using it, and it's just been the same grip, the same feel and everything for years and years. So it's something that no matter what count I'm in, I know that I'm probably going to land it. And so yeah, it's just, whether that's a 2-strike count, whether it's a 2-1, behind the count, it's just something that I know gets a lot of swings and misses, and it's something that I can land in the zone too. Yeah,
best of both worlds. You get swings and misses and land in the zone. That's awesome. Okay, so what things do you think you're doing well enough right now to be a consistent major leaguer? What things do you think you need to work on the most?
I would say things I'm doing good right now. I think it's just coming in and executing and getting the job done when we need it. I had a lot of situations this year, different situations that I came into this year out of the bullpen where, I was coming in the 7th inning. I came in the 9th inning. I came in even in the 1st inning when a guy had a little rough, start to an outing. I think just being able to, be flexible and come in any situation and execute and get outs. I mean, that's really the most important part to pitching, is being able to come in and get outs and prevent runs from scoring. And I think that's probably the thing that I'm doing the best right now, and something that I had a lot of success with this year. And then something that I probably want to improve on, I think is just, I think I just want to refine my arsenal just even more. I'm pretty confident with everything, but just making it better always, and making small changes, and also just, if I can, just up the velo a little bit too, because I know I've had success already with where it's at, but if I can get a couple more ticks on my fastball and everything else, that'll just make it that much deadlier. Okay,
are you back home in Minnesota?
No, right now I'm actually out in California.
Oh, really? Why California?
Well, I'm staying with my girlfriend and her family, and then I have a good spot to train out here as well. So nice. It's only 15 minutes away. So
nice.
Yeah.
So tell us what your goals are. Is it your goals just to maintain what you've already done? Or are you trying to work on anything new? What are your goals for off season? What are your routines?
Yeah, the goals right now, maintain command and feel for all my pitches, being able to, use everything in the zone, but then also just getting stronger and yeah, like I said, adding on a little bit more velo if I can, just because yeah, that'll just make everything that much better. So,
Yeah,
um,
100%. 100%. Okay, that's all the business I got for you. I've beaten you up with the business questions here, right? Okay, you're probably like, dang, he's asked me every question he possibly can about all my stuff and everything. All right, so let's relax a little bit. Maybe not. This might be more stressful than the other part, but we'll see. Okay, so you've thrown a no-hitter in high school, right? You threw a no-hitter?
I threw two.
Oh, you threw two. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And can you tell us why, or did you throw any perfect games?
No, actually, I had the two no hitters that I threw were back to back, and I can't remember if it was the first or the second one, but the very first batter of the game had him on a 2-strike count, and I hit him in the toe with the back foot slider that I was trying to
get. So you hit the first hitter of the game and threw a perfect game from there on?
Yep.
Now, you might throw the last out of a World Series, but that will piss you off no matter what for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so the game I got to see you in person before you became a Dodger was there at Globe Life Field in Arlington when you shoved against the arch rival, the Wildcats, right, at the K-State, the rivalry game in the Big 12 tournament game. So take us back through that game and what it was like shoving against them.
I mean, that was a lot of fun because that was the biggest stage I had been on in that point in my career, and just knowing that it was the first game of the tournament for us, and it was against our biggest rival too, and just knowing that my coaches trusted to give me the ball for that game, and then actually having a really good outing and setting up our team for the win against them it was a lot of fun. It was an incredible feeling and something I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Okay, as a freshman in high school, you set your high school's all-time wins record for a single season. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Can you tell us whose record you beat?
That would be my Uncle Denny.
Wow, that's amazing, man. You threw two no-hitters that were back-to-back. One of them would have been a perfect game if you hadn't hit the first hitter of the game on the toe, and you set the single-season record all-time for wins as a freshman in your high school, and you beat out your uncle for that.
Yep.
That's amazing. Do you guys, so the Thanksgiving table, the Christmas table, or whenever you get together, is there some spirited fun with that?
Oh yeah, I mean he loves it. He wouldn't have rather had anybody break it, but just got to poke a little fun here and there, and yeah, it's great. It's something special, that's for sure. Especially because he went on to have a little time in the minor leagues with the Twins, and just knowing that we had that little connection there is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got him on the all-time wins, and then probably by now you have him on the longest tenure as a minor leaguer. Would that be correct?
Dude, I don't know if I quite have him yet. Yeah. I think he's still got another year or two than I do.
I could see you being that sneaky guy that just kind of throws in the casual jab and just keeps walking on. Would I be pretty accurate there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. And I got to say that to bring in the next question. It's like July the 19th and you've played 74 days in a row and it's freaking hot and baseball's hard. What's the one thing that you actually wish that the casual fan would understand about the non-glorious part of being a minor leaguer?
Yeah, I mean, it's a grind. I mean, we, what was it, 130 games we had this year in high A, and it's 6 games a week. We get one off day, and even on the off day, most of the time we're going in and either doing a workout or getting some throwing in. And before every game too, we're showing up, maybe anywhere from 4 to 6 hours before the game, something like that, and we're getting work done in the training room on any sore muscles, things we might have going on, and then we're prepping, we're going out, we're playing catch, we're getting our bodies loose for a pregame workout. We might have a lift that day, and then just getting our body ready for each and every day, just to go out there and play at the best we can. I think that's just one thing that some people might not realize, that, they think maybe you're just coming in right before the game, you're just getting dressed and hopping out there and loosening up a little bit and getting ready to go. But there's a lot more to it than that. And also just like the mental aspect of getting through that long of a season and being there for, well, like you said, you're however many games in, it's super hot outside, and you're sweating every day, and it's beating up your body. And if you've had a rough little stretch too, that your play might be affecting you a little bit mentally and stuff like that, and you got to kind of just keep putting it in the past and trying to move on and to the next day, and just keep going. That's really it.
You're from Minnesota, correct?
Yeah, correct.
You played last year in Great Lakes, Michigan, in the middle of Michigan for Great Lakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So which one's colder, middle of Michigan or Freely, right?
Fridley, yeah.
Yeah, Freely. Which one's colder in Minnesota? Minnesota or Michigan?
I would say... I'd say Minnesota.
Yeah. Really?
I'd still say Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but that also could just be because I lived there longer, so
yes.
I, had a lot more time to experience some way colder temperatures. But I will say Michigan is quite close though too. We had some pretty brutal games at the beginning of the year where it was 25 degrees and windy and rainy and stuff like that, and you're just doing everything you can to stay warm. You got jacket and sweatshirt on in the bullpen, huddled up like this. And,
yeah, so like Ronaldo Yeen, who's not from Minnesota, he comes from a warm climate. I mean, was it hilarious watching those the international guys who come from warm climates trying to deal with 25 degrees?
Oh yeah, it's something that they're not used to at all, and so they're bundling up even more than we are, and just trying to feel their fingers still. Yeah,
like I only got one bit of advice for you, bro. It'll be over in about 3 hours. That's the only advice that you have for cold weather. There's just no getting out of it until you get back in the clubhouse. Okay, so take us through the silliest you have ever made a professional hitter look, and what was your response to it? What was your comment after it? I know you've got some kind of sarcastic comment to it.
Oh man, I think, oh geez, I can't remember who it was or what team we were facing this year, but I had a guy, it was a lefty, kind of, threw him a slider, started it in right on his hip, basically. So it looks like it was coming straight for him, and he just like fell away from it. And then at the last second, he decided he was going to try to take a chop at it. And
nice.
So it was just kind of like falling away and just like last ditch effort, just like throwing his bat out there. And, it's, when you get a swing like that, or you get a reaction like that from a hitter, it's kind of give yourself, you gotta chuckle to yourself a little bit, because you feel really good about it.
Did you give him the "my bad, bro"?
Nah, I didn't do that.
All right, fantastic. Evan Shaw, you are a wonderful young man. You have a terrific future ahead of you, just a tremendous head on your shoulders. You got it all figured out. You know why and what makes you good. So just super excited about your future, and thank you so much for joining Dodgers Daily.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.